Oh shit. 9:28 in the morning. It is August 10th, 2020. We're John Sayers in California. Reeling over the news that just got popped into our social media net, but also on regular news media. Gov Andrew Cuomo signed today. You're going to be reading throughout the history books and also throughout the newsreels, clips, papers, everything else to tell you what led up to the situation over here. There's going to be probably books or something like that trying to describe why he did what he did for different viewpoints. I'm going to wait for my viewpoint at this time. The state of California is already going through a recall election right now, or a governor that seemed like tried to save the state, but it didn't, because simply we're still in the mess regarding the COVID. My head sometimes keeps going over to the news just to keep up what's going on with the local stuff. The national is going to be talking about this for God knows how long. Brother to Andrew Cuomo, he's got a tough challenge, unless he's already made a decision already. If his brother resigned, will the younger brother follow suit? The younger brother works over at CNN. Big news anchor personality. Got his own show. Talks to a lot of people. Talks a great deal at length. But now he's going to have to change things around if he's going to be staying at the network, and the network's going to be having a field day with him at this point. Whether or not they actually are going to be staying with him or not. And I couldn't help but feel for the guy and his family during the COVID situation when they all got the COVID. Somehow they all survived. And to get the medications necessary to battle it out. He had drawn some high ratings in the company of CNN. Now I'm worried whether or not he's going to be staying there or not because of this situation with his brother. If his brother resigns, is he going to be next? Because public stigma is seeming to be a lot worse than dealing with the stigma concerning about the COVID situation, being vaccinated or unvaccinated, and denying the bug or not denying the damn bug. To get the lines drawn on those things. The younger Cuomo had been through it. He understands the needs for wearing a mask. He understands more and more about the science than anything else. He's got friends who are doctors and scientists. He's talked to a lot of them. He's educated enough for the situation. But what I'm worried more about in the situation here is whether or not if he's actually going to survive the wave of public opinion that's going to be tearing his ass apart left and right. I'm concerned. Why? Because I hate seeing people get torn apart left and right because of some bullshit like this. I hate to say it, but I'm saying it anyway. It's bullshit. But it is what it is. And it sucks. It sucks seeing this shit. It sucks seeing this situation going on here. I'm seeing also how it might affect California. Granted, he's a New Yorker, he's a tough New Yorker. He's been through a lot. And he's been dealing with a lot. And this scandal concerning about what he's been through is changing a hell of a lot of our politics these days across the states. And the thing of it is, I understand he had no choice. He had way zero choice at this point. He had to do what he had to do. It's not the easiest decision for him to step down, the senior Cuomo, but he had to, for to go and stayed for good of his family, trying to save what little reputation he had left. He still felt like he was still in it, and it was just a hard thing for him to do. And now the political fallout is going to be happening, and it's going to be happening around his son. Actually, not his son, but his younger brother. Maybe a lot of people shouldn't care what the hell happened to him in the first place, but I do care, unfortunately. And ask me why. You do what you got to do for family. You do what you got to do. You got to struggle on your own survival. Sometimes you may have to go against family to do so. And other times you may have to do things that normally you wouldn't for the sake of your family. I'm not going to tell him what to do or not to do. The senior Cuomo did what he was going to do. As for the junior, I'm sorry that if he makes the one decision I think he's going to make at this point over here. I'm sorry to see him go. He may have been an arrogant jerk at times, but sometimes he admitted to himself too. Tried to be humble, but sometimes to be confrontational. But again, he was raised in New York, so that's how they were raised. And in this situation regarding this political rat race that's still going on right now, it's hard to see a good reporter taken out of the field. Desk job sent out. I don't know if you would consider toxic or not. Maybe he'd consider a professorship somewhere else, but I'd still like for him to be in the field. Despite the fact whatever kind of public opinion may throw against him. I'd still like to see him going after people, getting after it. I've been a supporter of CNN for a hell of a long while. Sometimes I may not have agreed with him sometimes, but I still supported him left and right. Call me biased, but I've seen these guys in operation since 1990 when it came up and up. So I'm familiar with them. On what I've been seeing in the content that they've had, and some of the reporters that they've had and lost, either by attrition or something else. What I'm waiting for right now is a certain report to come back on here to see what's going on in the business world, see what else is going to be happening. And I got one of the local news stations out there that I'm keeping an eye on. Because I know the nationals are going to be talking about this like crazy. But if I could send a letter over to the younger and senior Cuomos, our day has changed. Governor Cuomo, our day has changed a hell of a lot. What was acceptable behavior back in the 50s and 60s and probably in the 70s at this point over here had mutated drastically on us. To the point where we don't even recognize our own world anymore. And that should be as it is. They say it's hard for an old dog to learn a new trick. Well, we had to learn on the fly and on the run. We had to adapt. And sometimes it wasn't fast enough for everybody else. Our own natures, our own natural inclinations of doing some stuff that right now is inconceivable and also considered what you've been going through right now. I had done in my youth. Not touching people's asses, so not being a hugger. Because I always got the good positive stuff I needed from hugging another human being. And trying to reassure myself the world hasn't ended. I could advise you on that one if I could. Hug your family a great deal. If they're the ones who used to it and not complaining about it, go for it. Anybody else, it's like you have to ask permission. As for the younger, you're going to be facing a hell of a lot of opposition even within. Because public opinion will be affecting a lot of the revenues of the company that you're in. If the company's willing to go for it and keep you over there, I hope so. But they're going to have the understanding that they're going to get more under your gun because you're associated. I still support you. I'm one of those viewers who do. I'm not a #1 fan. There's been a lot of news personalities growing up that I had affinities for. But the thing is, some things happen and you just can't change them as much. If you happen to make a decision I think you're going to be making, sir, I would hope that you reconsider staying on board. Fight the good fight. I know you have to protect your family and everything else. Being a good soldier falling on the sword. I'd like for you to take the damn sword and shove it somewhere else. If you're gonna fight, fight. Don't give up. Some battles you may not be able to win, but others are worth. Others battles are worth it. And the only thing I can ask you is to hang tough with you and your family. Stay strong. It may not blow over soon. It may continue to rage for a bit. And hang in there.